Hey there, Aquarius. How are you today? My name is Sherilyn, and I am here to do your weekly tarot reading. We're going to start it off with an oracle card just because I'm still trying to learn this deck. So we'll see if it doesn't give us basic topic or whatever's going on for you this week. Gives us something we're focused on, right? So yours is going to be the here and now. Here and now. Let's see what you got on that. 2. The essential meanings are being fully present in the moment and living one day at a time. So that seems to be the underlying current to whatever we're dealing with here, okay? For my Aquariuses. Let's see what you got. Aquarius. Okay. Flip them. Oh, here we go. For my Aquarius. Okay, you're opening with the Ten of Wands. Alrighty, followed by the Ace of Swords. And then I have the Seven of Cups in the challenge position. So, for me, this is your backstory or your recent past. Ten of Wands and the Ace of Swords. So you've been very heavily burdened by some sort of truth. The challenge is that you have many options, apparently. So I do feel like this truth is your own, meaning that I don't think this is a truth somebody else has brought to you. I think this is a truth that you have been burdened from, not wanting to let it come forward, or just that there's some kind of weight to this truth that you're carrying on your own. So that makes me feel like, I don't know, if are you being deceptive towards somebody here in your backstory, or you're just not really opening up, right? You're just not completely letting somebody in. Okay, and the challenge being the fact that there's many options. I don't know, let's keep going. Okay, so where are you currently? Let's see. Currently, I have you with the Magician, the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Swords in the challenge. Okay, so Queen of Cups is going to end up being the card that's at the center of your entire read. Queen of Cups being somebody that's very nurturing, very maternal, very intuitive. Oftentimes, it's somebody, though, who has an issue with trying to hold up their boundaries. It's somebody who's empathetic to a fault, right? It's somebody who tries to see things from other people's point of view, and if they do something wrong to them, they try to understand why they did it, and in doing so, they often end up excusing somebody's bad behavior in the name of love or something. So boundaries become something that's very important with this card in the center. The Magician on the other side is you manifesting. And the challenge here is that you have been burned in the past and you're coming through as defensive. So you have your back to the Queen of Cups, Queen of Swords, Queen of Cups. It's like two totally different personalities, right? I do believe you're presenting as the Queen of Cups, but there is definitely something here about you feeling very defensive. I can't help it. I feel like you're trying to defend this truth. It's not that you are lying or misleading people, but you're not being totally honest here. There's something that you are keeping very close to the chest here. You are not revealing whatever all you know. You're not revealing all of that, it doesn't seem. With the Magician, you're definitely manifesting. Let's see where we go from here. Okay. And they're telling you to be in the here and now was the oracle card you pulled in the beginning, so to be present. Okay. In the near future, I'm looking at the Sun, the Nine of Swords, and the challenge is the Seven of Pentacles. So no matter how hard you try to not let this truth come forward or to keep this under wraps, it feels like, it's going to come out in the near future with the Sun. It'll be illuminated. It looks like that stresses you out, something terrible. I don't know. I'm not sure what this truth is, because I get the feeling that you haven't been deceptive necessarily. You just haven't been forthcoming with everything. You're not opening up all the way about something. Okay, let me see. And I'm still, the Ten of Wands is you carrying the heavy burden. I get it because of the truth. But the Magician, you're manifesting. You're manifesting that it be illuminated? That doesn't seem right. Let's see. So I've got the Seven of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Chariot. So you're doing everything you can to hold this up, to not allow this to come forward or to not allow the truth to come out. Is it possible that you are just having much deeper feelings for somebody or something than you're letting forward? You're trying to keep that part hidden. You don't want to be that vulnerable. You don't trust a situation entirely, but I don't think it's because you don't trust the person. I think it has a lot more to do with you just not trusting the situation. You know, I think you're fine with the person involved, but maybe at other times in your life this hasn't played out right. And so it's the actual situation is what you don't trust. But it looks like things are coming at you fast no matter what you do. Let me see, I get 3 more. I have the Knight of Swords. Sorry, I got a cat meowing. Knight of Swords, the Three of Wands, and then the Ten of Pentacles. Somebody is fighting very hard to make this truth come out. Somebody really wants to know all about you or wants to know what it is that you're not being forthcoming about. Whoever that is on a crusade for clarity. They want to be a part of your future and don't feel like they can effectively be part of your future unless they know all about you. It seems like whoever this is actually trying to build with you, to build towards the Ten of Pentacles. But they can't do that unless you let them in, Aquarius. And that seems to be where the real, I don't know, where the issue is here. Is you letting down your boundaries enough to let somebody in, right? All right. Okay, 3 more. What you got? The World card, the Ten of Cups, and the Wheel of Fortune. I think once you can trust this person enough to let them in, this person that's fighting to figure out what all's going on here, it will end this cycle of not being able to trust or believe in the future. You have the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. I mean, both seem like they are just barely out of reach right now. With the Wheel of Fortune here, though, I feel like you have good karma on your side, and I do feel like both of these things are coming towards you. But that doesn't mean that it is a slam dunk. It doesn't have to come towards you if you don't do your part. And your part is to figure out how to heal enough to let this person in. And let your guard down at least for a minute. You know? I feel like you do know. It is about the here and now. It's about figuring out how to be happy. Because you deserve it. That's what this is about. You deserve to be happy. All right. Well, that's what I have for you this week. That's what I see here anyways. I hope this somehow helps. That's it. Okay, take care. Boom. Hey, Pisces. How are you today? My name is Sherilyn, and I'm here to do your weekly reading. I am going to pull an oracle card first because I'm still trying to learn this deck, and because I like it, I feel like it gives us a theme for this week or something. So let's see what we got. Okay, for my Pisces, where you at? So you've got flexible. There you go. Flexible, the essential meanings. Teachability, open-mindedness, being adaptable without compromising what's most important. So this is all about you being open to learning something new, not being too rigid in your thinking, right? That's how I see it. Okay, let's see what your reading says. Okay. For my Pisces. The cat's really at war over here with my shoe. I don't know why. It's crazy. All right, here we go. For my Pisces. Pisces. Alrighty. You're opening with the Empress. Okay. Followed by the Sun. And then I have the Three of Cups in the challenge position. So, the Empress to the Sun and the Three of Cups, huh? Well, you're presenting as the Empress, so you're all 4 queens rolled into one. Definitely somebody who has an ability to nurture something into fruition. Whatever you choose to put your power into or your energy into is what you will be able to make blossom or bloom, right? With the Sun, it's the next card over. It feels to me like there's a sense of happiness here or contentment. The challenge here is the Three of Cups. So the challenge here is, I get the feeling that the challenge here is a dynamic that seems lopsided for some reason. Meaning that I'm not sure yet if this is a friendship or a romantic entanglement, but either way, it would seem that there's one too many energies involved in this dynamic. This is your backstory anyways, but I feel like you were presenting as the Empress, and I feel like you were quite happy in the situation you were a part of. And then I feel like a third energy came into the mix and caused you grief. Made the whole dynamic seem suddenly lopsided. Okay, so that's your backstory or your recent past. Let's see where we're going. Now we've got the Knight of Cups in the current, followed by the Page of Swords. That's going to be the card in the center. And then I have the Ten of Wands in the challenge position. So is it possible that you've just gotten quite jealous of a third energy that came in, even though maybe nothing has gone wrong necessarily? I mean, it changed the dynamic, but still. And that's why they're telling you you have to be flexible. Be open to a new way of doing things, maybe. Because you pulled the Knight of Cups, followed by the Page of Swords, and the challenge is the Ten of Wands. So Page of Swords being in the center tells me that you are looking for a sense of clarity. You're trying to find out exactly what's going on. For some reason, you're choosing to do it through very indirect means. So you are asking other people, asking tarot readers, trying to spy on their phone or social media, but you're not going to the people involved and asking them directly. I'm not exactly clear on why that is. Maybe that's because you're acting kind of jealous and out of sorts. Maybe. Possible. Knight of Cups would say there's some sort of offer that I believe has been ushered in here. And you're feeling unclear about the offer. And it's because of this third energy. And I don't think this third energy is like an affair or anything. The third energy is, I don't know, a friend, a family member, or something like that. It's somebody that is definitely being a third wheel and tagging along, and it's changed the dynamic in a way that you feel uncomfortable is what I think is going on. Or maybe just jealous, right? Okay, the challenge being the Ten of Wands would just say that you're heavily burdened by all this. This is what is monopolizing your brain basically all the time, right? And not in a positive way. Okay, let's keep going and see where we're going now. So, in the near future, what do we got in the near future? Okay, Five of Swords, the King of Swords, and the Three of Pentacles. Let me tell you what I feel like is going on here. I feel like this third energy may very well be an inconvenience to you. Okay, maybe it's somebody's parents that have come to live with you, or maybe it's just, or their best friend that's in town. Whatever it is definitely changed the dynamic and it has you upset. Okay, it's changed the attention that you get from this person or something. It's changed the way things feel. However, I don't think that this person who's come in has any kind of nefarious intent. They're not here to cause problems. They're just here because this is where they are. However, here in the near future, it looks like you could definitely manifest this into something negative if you're not careful, okay? I don't know if this person's temporary here, like maybe they're only here for a minute. It doesn't feel like it, huh? It feels like maybe they intend to stay around for a while, but at any rate, in the near future, you get to the Five of Swords, so now there's conflict. So now you feeling like the dynamic has changed has caused some sort of conflict here, okay? You're arguing and you're having a problem now. Okay, the King of Swords is the next card over. I do believe that is whoever your other is in this situation, whether this is your friend or this is your romantic situation. Feels like it's romantic. Either way, this person is trying very hard to look at this from a logical standpoint. They're like, what is wrong with you? This person's just here for a minute. Why are you acting so crazy? And it's not that they're gaslighting you, really. It's not. But you're being a bit much. You're just being a bit much when it comes to this. I understand that it feels off. I get that. I just don't see the bad intention here on their part. But I do see where this could turn into a problem if you're not careful. Maybe you just have to give this a minute so that they can balance this out. I don't know. The challenge is the Three of Pentacles on the end here, which makes me feel like this person, maybe they didn't intend to stay around and maybe now they do, huh? Somehow it feels to me like you are causing your own problem. That's why you got flexible from the beginning. And it's because you need to be a little bit easier going on this. That's how I see it. Okay, let me see. Bottom of the deck, I have the Two of Wands, the Strength card, and the Five of Wands. You're feeling like you're going into some sort of competition with this person. But you're not. That's not how this is set up. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you're putting your other, whoever the significant other is person, in a very bad spot. Because, I mean, they can't, maybe you did get to monopolize all their time for a certain amount of time in whatever, time and space. But right now, there's other people they have to pay attention to, too. And you are being very difficult from these cards, it looks like. Yeah, you're really trying to be controlling in the situation and not allow this person to be around the other people in their life. And that is kind of unfair on your part. It doesn't look like it's going to play out well if you don't back off, is what I'm afraid of here. Okay, 3 more. You have the Seven of Cups, the Six of Swords, and the Moon. I mean, you have the option here. You know what I'm saying? You can chill out and kind of let this ride, right? And make yourself less of a stick or thorn in their side or something about this all. Or you can fight this, but I get the feeling that fighting this is not going to have the result you want. With the Moon, you're definitely not seeing things from necessarily a clear head. You know what I'm saying? You're not seeing the fact that there is not negative intention here. And you're definitely not taking a minute to really put yourself in your other person's shoes and understand that they're stuck right now. And that you're putting them in a bad spot is how this feels to me. Okay, this is just, that's how it feels to me. It feels like you need to figure out how to back off a little bit and let this ride, or else I feel like things could take a negative turn in this dynamic. And that's not necessary. It doesn't need to take a negative turn. Okay, that's how I see it. So there you go. You have to be flexible. That's that. Okay. All right, y'all. That's what I have for you this week. I hope it somehow helps. Okay. Take care. Okay. Hey there, Aries. How are you today? My name is Sherilyn, and I'm here to do your weekly tarot reading. We're going to pull an oracle card first and just see if it gives us the theme for what we're doing. Where your life's at right this minute. I have a cat in here that's trying to chase a fly, so if you hear them, that's what they're doing. Okay, so for Aries, you've got new life. Essential meanings: birth of new ideas, growth, opportunities, a breath of fresh air, or life renewing itself. So it looks as though you are getting a clean slate, fresh start on something, huh? Maybe. Let's see. This one's going to be for my Aries. Okay. Okay, for my Aries. Let's see what they say. Okay, we're going to open with, okay, you're opening with the Fool. Crazy. That goes right with the new life, huh? Taking a leap of faith in a new direction. Now I've got the King of Swords. And then I have the Five of Pentacles in the challenge position. So this is your backstory or your recent past. So it looks as though you were presenting as the King of Swords, so trying to look at everything very logically, trying to pretty much close emotions out of the equation, but trying to be very sensible, very grounded. It looks like you took a leap of faith in a new direction, and I think that it was a positive experience overall. However, it looks like maybe in taking this leap of faith, you had to leave behind what you were comfortable with. So there was a sense of loneliness. This is that time, like I talk about, where when one door closes, another one opens. We all know that saying. But there's a hallway in between, and it's like you're in the hallway in between right now as you go from one grouping of people or a situation to another. So this is your backstory or recent past. This looks like it's already taken place. So I have to feel like you've already started to embark on this new life then, right? It feels like. Okay, so what do we got now? Where are we at in the current? Currently for Aries, we've got the Wheel of Fortune, followed by the Two of Pentacles. Oh, excuse me. And in the challenge, I have the Nine of Cups. Okay, the card that's going to be in the center of your entire read will be this Two of Pentacles. So Two of Pentacles can mean a lot of different things. It basically means there's a sense of imbalance, right? Something here is out of balance. So it feels to me like maybe you are being stretched very thin, or maybe you are having a little bit of a hard time totally letting go of whatever you've left behind. You know what I'm saying? So you've left something behind, you've got a fresh start, but there's still some things there energetically that are pulling on you, causing you to be pulled in two directions, right? Maybe. Wheel of Fortune on the front of the whole thing says that currently you are exactly where you're supposed to be and going in the direction you're supposed to be going in. I feel like the Wheel of Fortune is helping to ensure that. So you are headed towards whatever your destiny is, it looks like. The Nine of Cups becoming the challenge makes me feel like you are struggling right now with what it is that your wish fulfillment is. Maybe in this whole new life thing that we have going on up here, this new start or whatever, maybe your wish fulfillment needs to be altered to fit your new situation, right? And that might be a bit of a struggle or something you haven't quite settled on yet. Okay, where are we going in the near future? Now we have the Seven of Cups, followed by the Knight of Swords, and the challenge is the Four of Cups. Okay, so we're talking to Aries. Sometimes you have a hard time, Aries, with being patient or waiting things out, right? You want everything yesterday. You're very go, 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 usually. So I see you've gone from one thing, you took the leap of faith, you've gone into this thing, you're having fresh starts, things are starting over for you. But then it's going to take time to build this into what you want. And I think that that is the biggest struggle in the near future. I think there's lots of different options. You know that not all of them are good. You have to use your discernment to pick the best ones for you. You are trying to find a sense of clarity in all of this, trying to figure out which direction to go in. I think you're being as thoughtful and patient with all this as you can. But that doesn't mean that you're still not you. I mean, the challenge here is the Four of Cups, and that's you being disappointed or dissatisfied with the way things are. And I have to believe that that is probably because you want things to work out a little quicker than they can. It just takes time for things to come together. Nothing worth having is not going to take some effort and some time, you know? No matter how bad we want it to be quicker. So that's where I see that at. Let's see, bottom of the deck, you have Three of Cups, Queen of Cups, Page of Cups. With the Three of Cups, I think we're talking about new friendships. I think there are quite a few coming your way. The Queen of Cups, this would speak to you possibly having trouble in your new friendships, figuring out how to hold up your boundaries or figuring out how to draw lines in the sand as far as where your boundaries are going to be. And with the Page of Cups on the back side, I think that you have offers coming towards you in general that are not maybe what you wanted. They are less than what you had anticipated or something. You wanted things to be, I don't know. You wanted bigger things already. Like I said, it's a matter of patience. But you have to stop and realize that the things that are coming towards you are things that could grow into what it is you want. You know, there's steps along this way. You don't just start at the top. You have to put in some of the work to get there. That's what it feels like here. Like you're wishing you could sidestep all the work. That's just not the way it works out, right? What do we got? 10 of Cups, Knight of Cups, Four of Swords. See, you went from the Page of Cups to the Knight of Cups already. So the offers get bigger. The offers get to be more along the lines of what you're looking for. But you have to start somewhere is basically what this is saying. You got a clean slate or a fresh start, but that was with everything. So you still have to work it all out, right? Make it all fit together. 10 of Cups and then the Four of Swords would say that you are still involved in a little bit of healing, trying to get through this healing. With the 10 of Cups, emotional fulfillment is out there to be yours. I mean, it's out there to be had. It's on your path that you're on right now. This is a great reading, Aries. It really is. I mean, it may not feel great every day, all the time. But I assure you, you are headed on the right path, in the right direction. Things here look really good. I mean, it looks like you have some sort of a brand new start here. And that looks to be, right now, like that is exactly what you needed to get you in alignment with where you need to be. So all in all, no matter how much pain or strife has been involved in getting you to this point, it looks like you are exactly where you're supposed to be and doing a very good job of, trying to get things started up and pushing in the right direction. So I would say this is an awesome reading, really. That's how I see it. Let me see. Okay, what else you got here? You got the Six of Pentacles, the Chariot, and the Six of Swords. I think you're demanding reciprocity at this point. If that's something that was lacking in the past, I don't think you'll stand for it any longer. With the Chariot, I think things are moving very quickly now. For most signs, that would be an issue. That's not an issue normally for you. But even though they're moving very quickly, they're not quite moving quick enough for you. You want them to move faster than that, or you want to be further ahead than you are right now. You're going to get there, Aries. You're going to get there. Just stay the course, okay? Yeah. The Six of Swords, you're just trying to get to a sense of peace. You're trying to get out of the constant uncertainty and chaos. And I think you've already pretty much done that by taking the leap of faith in the recent past. So I think this is just a matter of continuing forward on the right path, which it looks like you're doing. So I would just say, keep going, right? Even if it's just small steps, they all add up. And with Aries, they're never small steps. You're trying to leap ahead, I know. You'll get there. You will get there, and it looks like it will be a pleasant ride that will get you to a great place, okay? That is what I see this time. Hands down, best reading I've done today so far, so there you go. All right, Aries, enjoy it. Okay. Alrighty, hey there, Taurus. How are you today? My name is Sherilyn, and I'm here to do your weekly tarot reading. We're going to pull an oracle card first just to see if it'll give us a theme or a basic, the gist of your reading for this week. We'll see what direction it takes us in. So let's see. For my Tauruses, what you get? The Fates. As essential meanings: fate, karma, acceptance that there are things you cannot change, and knowing what those things are. Okay, Taurus. So is there something that you are trying to change that you know you cannot? Or is there something that, I don't know, this is like that Serenity poem, right? Trying to figure out which things you can change and which things you cannot, knowing the difference, I think. Let's see. For my Tauruses, what do we got for this week? Okay. Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. They're dealing with the fates, huh? Okay. Alrighty, you're opening with the Nine of Swords. Okay, followed by the Four of Pentacles. And then we have the Queen of Swords in the challenge position. So this is your recent past or your backstory. For starters, this is something that's already taken place. Just tells me what we're building off of in this reading. Nine of Swords says there's a lot of stress and anxiety, period, okay? Four of Pentacles says there's something here that you're hanging on to. So you're hanging on to something that possibly is no longer hanging on to you, right? And as much as you want to change that fact, it's not something that you have the power to change. Sometimes you have to accept which things you can and cannot change. Okay, the challenge in this position is the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords would say that you are very defensive. I believe this is how you're presenting. So you are very defensive. You have your sword drawn. You're tired of the BS. So maybe this is a situation where you are dealing with a person that was one way once and has changed quite a bit in the time you've known them to be something that's quite different from what they were when you met them, is how I feel about this. And now they have become something that you no longer want to tolerate, or no longer, I don't know. You love the person, but you love the person, love the person that you had initially. And what they have become now is not the same as what you had initially. That's how I feel about this. Maybe that's why it's knowing what you can and cannot change, because you want to change them back to what they once were, but that's not an option here. They have free will just like you do, so sometimes people just make decisions that aren't necessarily advantageous to the situations they're already in, right? Okay, let's see where we're going. So that's the backstory. Where are we currently then? I have the Three of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, and the challenge in the current is the Queen of Cups. Okay, so in the current situation right now, it looks as though Knight of Pentacles is in the center. Doesn't look like it's in the center, it is, but it's in the center. Knight of Pentacles would say that you are very slow to act right now. So it doesn't matter how frustrated or stressed out you are about the whole situation. You're trying to look at it and make sure that you are very cautious in your movements forward. You don't want to make some crazy movement and then regret it later, right? I mean, we're talking to Taurus anyways. You have a tendency to move, you know, kind of slowly as far as you err on the side of caution normally, as a rule anyways. So that's just, you're not making any rash movements here, no matter how upset you are. Okay, Queen of Cups being the challenge here, it means that you are having a very hard time accepting what the reality in this situation is. Okay, sometimes Queen of Cups can be a bit delusional almost. It's not a bad thing, but it is something where it's like you are having a hard time accepting that this new version of this person is what it is. Okay, you don't understand why they can't just go back to being who they once were, or can't just, yeah. So I think you're having a very hard time accepting the reality of a situation versus what you want a situation to be, or what a situation used to be. Okay, with the Three of Cups on the other side, I actually feel like this is because you have a grouping of friends that are trying very hard to be supportive of you. And I feel like you're trying to shut them out because you don't like their opinion in the situation. You know, they're speaking from a place of logic or rational thought, whereas you have emotions involved, right? But from where they're standing, they're trying to give you their opinion and you don't like it. So although I think this is your soul tribe, these are the people that are here to support you, you're trying to shut them out due to the fact that their opinion doesn't match what you want. I can't believe you've been listening this long if that's the case, because Lord knows you probably don't like what I'm telling you, but I'm just telling you what the cards say. Okay, let's see. So that's current. Where are we going in the near future? Let's see where we're going, Taurus. Okay, what you got? In the near future, I'm looking at the Hangman. Okay. The King of Wands. And what else? And the Six of Swords. Okay. So the Hangman, it can mean that you're feeling stuck. It can also mean that you just need to see this from a different perspective. In order for you to be grounded, which you normally are, and in order for you to find some sense of clarity and maybe even some sort of healing, right? Maybe you just need to step out of this situation for a minute and try to see it from another perspective. Try to see it from the other person's perspective, or from something like that. Okay? Because it feels like whatever your current thought process is, it does kind of have you stuck because it's just going in the same circle, right? You need to step outside that circle to get a broader picture here, to try to find some level of understanding. King of Wands seems to be what you're dealing with. It feels like you are dealing with somebody who has turned a corner to try to figure out how to embark on their sense of adventure. I don't know if you're dealing with somebody with a midlife crisis, or somebody that's just decided that they don't want to be so much restricted by rules or by people or by situations. So they're trying to be free, I guess you could say. Yeah. That's what this feels like. Six of Swords is the challenge here, and that's because you desperately need to exit this constant chaos and constant uncertainty that you're living in. Okay, it is eroding at you, like it's chipping away at you, at who you are and what you feel, and just your overall well-being. You need to sail off into calmer waters. You know, undoubtedly that would involve you sailing off without this person, because this person has obviously made decisions to try to go in a different direction or something. And that's the challenge here, because you don't want to. I have the Knight of Cups, the Devil, and the Six of Pentacles. You seem to be in a exaggerated Taurus mode here, where it's like, no, there's loyalty here. I'm going to stick this out no matter what. But you're sticking this out with the hopes that this person will go back to being what they once were. People really don't ever go backwards, okay? They're going to go forward. And this person is going forward into what they have chosen to do now. It feels like you are refusing to exit. You know what I'm saying? You're digging your heels in to hold on to this, despite the fact that you know that it's toxic. And we're back to the same thing. You're not wanting to deal with the reality of the situation. Instead, you're choosing to deal with what you want to be here versus what is here. As far as the Six of Pentacles goes, there's definitely a lack of reciprocity here. I feel as though this person has basically exited this situation at this point, or they're trying to, and you're trying to hold on for dear life. But what are you holding on to is the question, I guess. I don't know. Let me see. 3 more. You've got the Six of Wands, the Eight of Cups, and the King of Cups. You are concerned with what other people are going to think, or, you know, how other people are going to judge the situation. I don't think that it is going to matter, and I don't think that you're going to have to walk away. And that is because I believe this person is going to walk away first, is how it looks. They have already decided that I'm sorry, my cat's going crazy. They have already decided to pull their energy back as far as their emotions go. Yeah, I know this isn't the reading you want, but this is the reading I got. This is a situation where you truly need to get grounded and look at things for what they are and not what you want them to be right now. You have to do that so that you can find a sense of healing and understanding. Okay? That's how I see this. You don't have to do anything, but that's what the cards are recommending. Okay? That's what I got for you right now. It'll get better, I promise. Okay? All right. Hey there, Gemini. How are you tonight? My name is Sherilyn, and I'm here to do your weekly tarot reading. We're going to open it up with an oracle card and just see if we can get a basic theme, I guess, for the reading. Okay? Let's see what you get. Okay, for my Geminis. What's Gemini got? Go the distance. It means endurance, strength, and the long haul. So, it means patience more than anything, probably, but go the distance. Let's see what you get on that. For go the distance. Okay. For my Geminis. Okay. This one's for Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. Okay, Gemini. You are opening with the Three of Pentacles. Okay. Followed by the Ten of Cups. And in the challenge position, I have the World. So this is your backstory or your recent past. Three of Pentacles in the opening position. Three of Pentacles to the Ten of Cups. So this would speak of a collaboration in your recent past that brought you a sense of emotional fulfillment, at least temporarily. The challenge card, the challenge position being the World, makes me feel like whatever this was, it was sent to, get your mind off of something else, or to help you to heal from something, really. So this collaboration came in. It did bring you a sense of temporary, it feels like to me, emotional fulfillment. But then the cycle ended. Whatever this was seems like it was here and then it left fairly quickly. But it did what it was supposed to do, because it was a temporary sort of it was like a crutch to help you over a spot or something. Let's see. So that is your backstory here. And then they're talking about go the distance. So you needing to continue forward, I suppose. What do we have in the current? Okay, the Ace of Cups, followed by the Chariot. And in the challenge position, I have the Ace of Pentacles. So the card in the center of your reading is going to end up being the Chariot. This would speak of forward motion and victory, but more than anything to me, it's speaking of things coming at you very quickly. Maybe a little more quickly than you're comfortable with, right? Changes and stuff just coming at you very quickly. Ace of Cups on the front end says there's some sort of a solid offer right now when it comes to love, or if it's not there now, it should be there soon. You have aces on both sides, so it feels like things for you have definitely begun to switch up and change. The Ace of Pentacles is actually in the challenge position, so there's something here about an opportunity coming towards you, and for some reason the fact that you get this opportunity is quite challenging to you. It comes out under the World, so I feel like it's to replace whatever cycle's closed here. Possibly this has much to do with work, huh? Like the Three of Pentacles could be collaboration that came in, but work-wise, that brought you a sense of emotional fulfillment to sustain you past some sort of pain you were trying to heal. Now that cycle looks to be closing out. There's some sort of a solid offer in love coming through. Everything's happening much faster than you're comfortable with. And now there's some new opportunity coming at you, and it's quite challenging for you to make the decision or make the jump. I get the feeling there's a lot of doubt, as you're doubting your ability here or something. Let's keep going. Okay, so what do we got now? Now we're going to the near future. What do we got there? Okay, Three of Cups. The Nine of Swords. And the Six of Pentacles in the challenge. It's the second three, but let's see. So Three of Cups would speak of friendships and celebrations for the most part. So friendships are stressing you out, and it's due to a lack of reciprocity. So I don't feel like this is necessarily friendships like, hey, how you doing, friends? This feels more to me like friends with benefits, or friends that's just a little bit more. I don't know that you intended for a friendship to become a little bit more. But it looks like in this circumstance right here, to me, it does, or did. Or it does, because it's in the future. So I feel like you have a friendship that possibly crosses a line. Okay? And that has you incredibly stressed out. My cat's trying to get in. Just a minute, Momo. It has you stressed out. There's a lot of stress and anxiety here due to a lack of reciprocity. And I feel like you're on the upside of the reciprocity. So I feel like you know you're taking more from this situation than you're giving. Or you know that you're not as invested as this other person is, and that's stressing you out. On the bottom, I have the King of Cups, the Ace of Swords, and then I have the Six of Wands. Okay, so for starters, you have three aces out here already. So this is definitely like a clean slate, new start type deal, okay? King of Cups here, you're holding on to your emotions very tightly. So that is what's happening down here, I think. This other person's far more invested, and you are maybe claiming to be, or maybe you're trying to be, but it's not happening. You're not allowing yourself to be vulnerable in that way. Six of Wands on the other side, you're a little concerned with what people are going to think. Possibly this person is somebody that's not your type or not what you're used to. And you're worried about being judged for what this person is. Otherwise, you're worried about being judged for the fact that you're not investing as much as them. But I think it has more to do with possibly them being something that's out of your normal, right? Okay, let's see. I got the Eight of Wands, the Seven of Swords, and the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, this person may be out of your normal realm, but this person's very well off. They are. Yeah. The Eight of Wands, there needs to be better communication on all fronts, but, you know, what else is new? Actually, it's a little surprising, though, because your communication skills are usually top-notch, right? Looks like they're not necessarily what they could be right this minute. It has something to do with the fact that you're being a little bit dishonest here. You really are. You are playing this because you're figuring why not, you know, but it's all good and it's all fine and dandy until somebody gets hurt. And then you start to rack up bad karma. So you really have to try to be mindful of your karma through this process. Just remember to treat people the way you want to be treated, right? And you should be great. Okay, what else you got? The Five of Cups, the Five of Swords, and the King of Swords. This is whoever your ex is. Maybe this is the first time they've had to see you with somebody. Is that possible? Or had to really know that you found somebody? Because it feels like it fills them with a strong sense of rage, regret, and loss. King of Swords, they're trying to be analytical and logical about the whole thing, but it's not working out. They're very upset. Just the thought of it gets them pretty sideways, it looks like, and causes quite a bit of grief here. I've got the Two of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups. Two of Wands is you trying to make a decision about which way you're going to go from here. I believe you choose yourself. I believe you choose independence in this situation in the long run. I think this is fun, whatever you have going here, for a minute, and then it starts to stress you out because they're getting too invested. I do believe in the long run it looks like you pull back. And that's that. And then from there you push forward again, kind of like on a skateboard, right? You got to push and go forward, right? It's like, that's how I see it. You're healing from something, recovering, starting over. Okay. Nobody said you were going to get it right on the first try, right? But this looks like a happy excursion for a minute, and then when it starts to stress you out, you let it go. It does look like it stresses out whoever is in your past here quite a bit, but maybe they deserve it. Who knows? That's that. That's what I see, and then onward you go again. It's all about going the distance, like the card said. You're not in this for the whatever today. It's all about figuring out where you want to be for the long haul, right? Yeah. It's a good reading. It's a good reading. I think it is. Okay, Gemini? Just roll with the punches, which I know you're good at, and everything will be fine. That is how I see it for this week. Okay, I hope this helps. Boom. Hey there, Cancer. How are you doing tonight? My name is Sherilyn, and I'm here to do your weekly tarot reading. We're going to pull an oracle card first, so I see if I get a theme for your reading. And that's that. That's what we're doing. Okay, for Cancer, what'd you get? Peace, number 23. Peace. It is freedom from attachment, radical acceptance. So freedom from attachment and radical acceptance. Okay, let's see how that works out for you. Okay, this one's going to be for my Cancers. Okay. Freedom from attachment, huh? Radical acceptance. Let's see. I've got Cancer, Cancer, Cancer. Okie doke. What are you opening with? The King of Pentacles. Okay. Followed by the Death card. And the challenge is the Lovers. Okay, so these three cards are your backstory or your recent past. So basically this is something that's already happened, okay? King of Pentacles is how you're presenting here. Male or female, it really doesn't make any difference. It's an energy. However, I do see you standing firmly in your masculine here, okay? You're in boss energy. Whatever your situation is, whatever your kingdom exists of, whatever it consists of, sorry. You're in charge of it all. The good and the bad, no matter what, right? You're the person who makes the decisions. Your decisions stand. You're also the person who's responsible for whatever happens there, right? So you're in this boss energy. Definitely somebody who is cautious, okay? You err on the side of caution always. Try to take things slow, very grounded, very realistic. Okay. There's a death. The Death card is the next card over, so this speaks of a transformation. So something here in your recent past, basically, it feels like a death came to a situation in your recent past. The situation that the death was brought forward, whatever, the situation that the death came to was something to do with the love situation here. I get the feeling that there was an attempt now to rebuild within whatever was killed off or died out, whatever. So there was an attempt made here for transformation. Okay. All right, let's keep going, see where we go from here. So this was your backstory. So here in your recent past, it looks like something came to maybe a rather painful or bitter close. But it looks to me like the two of you tried to reconcile or tried to start things back up. Let's see where we go. So currently I have you at the King of Wands. Okay. And then the King of Swords. The challenge is the Chariot, which is your card anyways. King of Wands, King of Swords. Okay, so the attitude going back into this reconciliation was very harsh, okay? For starters, because you're in the King of Pentacles in this recent past, I feel like you were lording or controlling over the situation. Okay, period. Yeah, it was basically, yeah, you were the one in control of the situation, okay? However, I believe you had a very hard time controlling the other person involved in this situation. I think that person kind of got away from you. Meaning at one time maybe you had control, but I don't believe that was the case as it moved forward. King of Wands, I believe this is the other person involved in the situation. So I don't know. Anytime there's two kings trying to be in a situation together, that's rough. Somebody has to lead and somebody has to follow. When you have two kings, obviously nobody is going to follow. Everybody's leading in their own direction, right? It looks like possibly the other person in your situation has stepped into a new sense of being where they are stepping into their masculine. And they are definitely somebody who is now open for adventure. They're somebody who is very charismatic, trying to expand their horizons, see new things, meet new people, go new places, stuff like that. They're open to new experiences. In the current, I believe you are presenting like the King of Swords now. So you are definitely somebody who is trying to keep a handle on things, okay? You're trying to be rather controlling. You're trying to look at things from a very analytical, logical standpoint. You're really keeping emotion out of this. That's the one thing that is not present here. There is no emotion to this point. There's pride, there's aggression, there's passion, there's a lot of other things, but there's no cups out here at all. Okay, so with the Chariot being the challenge here, it looks as though things are happening faster than you want them to right now. There's not a lot of time to make decisions or to figure out how to be in control of the situation. Things are happening fast. And that's quite challenging to you because that's not the way you work best, it looks like. But let's keep going. What do we have here in the near future? A lot of masculine energy out here. Okay, so now we have the Strength card, followed by Judgment. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles in the challenge position. So with the Strength card here, you feel like you're at a disadvantage for some reason. Like you don't feel like you're on an equal playing field, or you feel like the odds are stacked against you in some way. It's like you can't get ahead because of something. Something has you feeling very restricted, and it's making you feel like you are the underdog in this situation. I'm not sure why, but that's what I see. You're the underdog, and yet it is the other person that is calling judgment on you. So I'm not sure what happened here to cause them to have an ability to call judgment on you. I'm not sure. It feels valid, though, so... the challenge position being the Eight of Pentacles makes me feel like possibly you didn't realize how invested they were or how invested you were until after the fact, until after everything started to fall apart. Like you didn't realize what they meant to you, or you didn't realize how invested this person was in you until things began to fall apart and it was basically too late or something. Huh. Okay, I have Four of Wands, Ten of Wands, and the Seven of Cups. So did somebody step out here? I don't know if somebody stepped out of this situation. With the Four of Wands, this was absolutely a higher level soul connection. Okay, this was something that was intended to come together. With the Ten of Wands, it has now turned into a heavy burden. The dynamic as a whole is a heavy burden, and it's a burden for both of you because you two are totally out of alignment. Totally out of alignment. I mean, it's like night and day. With the Seven of Cups, it's like there are many options. As far as which way to go, I have the Queen of Cups, the Six of Wands, and the Six of Pentacles. So the other person involved in this situation is the one coming through smelling like a rose, it looks like. I'm not saying that they're innocent, but that's how this is coming through. They are coming through as the person who's been victimized here. And the Six of Pentacles on the other side would say that there was a total lack of reciprocity. I have Temperance, the Nine of Swords, and the Two of Cups. You're stressed out over this Two of Cups, but I get the feeling that you're stressed out now. You weren't stressed out when things weren't fair. Where am I at? Okay, I'll get three more good out. I got the Six of Cups, the Page of Wands, and the Five of Swords, yeah. I feel like this has been out of sync for quite some time, and everybody just kind of pushed through and tolerated it. but I feel like it was incredibly unfair to one of you. And I feel like it might have been the other side of your situation. Not that that's altogether your fault, because I feel like they let this ride for a long time. But it feels like now they're almost calling in the karma on it or something, so that, I don't know. This feels as though this is coming to a close, is how it feels to me. And painfully so at this point, although I feel like it closed up here in the beginning, and that was like from the other side. So at one time I think you closed it out, and now I think they're closing it out. Either way, it looks like it is maybe time to figure out how to heal and move forward. Okay, that was all over the place. There we go. Hey Leo, how are you tonight? My name is Sherilyn, and I'm here to do your weekly tarot reading. We are going to pull an oracle card first, just to see if we can get a theme for what's going on here, what is happening for you this week. Let's see what you got. Okay, for my Leos. How about there? Oh, well, look at that. You got blessed. Something wonderful that is unearned and unexpected. Grace that is unforeseen. Gift from spirit. So, altogether positive. See, there we go. I felt like SpongeBob. Positive. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's see what you got for my Leos. Make sure they're right side up. Here we go. Okay. For Leo. Leo. For my Leos. Alrighty. Okay, so you're opening with the Ten of Pentacles. That's a good thing. Followed by the Devil. Okay. And then I have in the challenge position the Six of Cups. So this is your backstory or your recent past. The Ten of Pentacles being followed by the Devil tells me that there is definitely an unhealthy attachment possibly towards tangible wealth or money. There's also an obsession towards this success, I guess you could say. This abundance that you are seeking, right? The challenge being the Six of Cups. The challenge is a sense of nostalgia. Maybe that is what is fueling this constant fascination with money, or this need for success. Possibly you were raised without it, maybe. You know, maybe there's something here about you wanting to never be in that position again. Yeah. At any rate, this is your backstory, so this has already taken place. It could very well still be the case, though. We're going to see where we go from here. So this is what we're building on, okay? Okay, so where are we at currently, then? What do you got? We're opening with the Hangman in the current. Okay, then I've got the Nine of Wands. And in the challenge, we have the Empress. So I think I'm on the right track with this, huh? The Hangman being here would say that you're feeling very stuck in the current situation. With the Nine of Wands in the center, it's speaking to you being very resilient, very much somebody that can push through hardships, okay? But it's somebody who, even though you push through hardships, you do end up being banged up or wounded by the things that have happened to you. And so that's why I think there is this obsession with success and money, right? It's something that you felt very wounded, maybe growing up or at some point in your life when you had none. So that is you striving very much so to make sure that doesn't happen again, or that you're successful. But it's making you incapable of pushing forward to the sort of abundance that you actually are destined to attain. You know, you're stuck in this sense of lack, which is causing you to be stuck and not be able to push forward, is what we're seeing here. With the Empress in the challenge position, it's like you are incapable of nurturing what's being handed to you to make it the most it can be because of this sense of lack. You have to find a sense of balance in this, and right now there's no balance. I do believe like you've been extremely blessed, but I think the blessings that you have are not being utilized to their fullest potential, and it's because of this sense of lack and wounding from your past. So let's keep going. Okay, so where are we going in the near future with it then? Let's see. Okay, so we have Six of Swords, the Queen of Cups, and the Chariot. Okay, so Six of Swords is speaking to the fact that you need to get yourself out of this constant feeling like you're going to have nothing, or feeling like you have to work twice as hard or 20 times harder than everybody else, or you're going to end up not being successful. Or there's just something here where you've got yourself, you're keeping yourself held down almost because you're pushing yourself so hard to go forward. I don't know if that makes sense, but at any rate, you need to get to a place where you can find a sense of peace. To find a sense of peace, there would have to be a point where you were actually content for a minute so that you could relax. That's what's not happening, okay? You're just constantly pushing for more, okay? With the Queen of Cups, there's definitely something here about you having a hard time keeping your boundaries. Maybe you tell somebody, I'm going to take next Tuesday and Wednesday off, but as soon as you see an opportunity, you jump and go back towards work again, or go back towards earning money again. You're not sustaining or nurturing the different other things in your life, the relationships, the friendships, whatever else there is, the family. You're not nurturing any of that. You're only focused on this money-making thing. And it's causing there to be great issues within these other dynamics, okay? With the Chariot at the end as the challenge, this is things coming at you very quickly. So the opportunities keep coming towards you. It's like the devil just keeps throwing them at you, and so you keep jumping at them. But you're missing the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? There has to be balance. Okay, what do we have on the bottom? Nine of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands. Nine of Cups is because you're trying to attain your wish fulfillment. But your wish fulfillment is very one-directional, right? It doesn't include the rest of the things that it needs to make you happy. You're not giving those things the credit that they deserve in your life. So things like relationships, friendships, family. You're not nurturing those at all because all you care about is this money, but it's going to leave you with a very hollow victory unless you can get it back into alignment. Okay, Knight of Pentacles is you being very cautious when it comes to how you spend money. So possibly right now you are being a bit of a mixed Scrooge or a tightwad right this minute with the money. I don't know. You're trying to hold on to it. Knight of Wands, this is you hold on to the money for a while and then you're impulsive and you blow a bunch on something that doesn't make any sense, which just sets you back into motion where you have to go back to work to make it up. There's something here where it's like you're taking unnecessary risks. It's a way for you to blow off steam and to feel like you are getting something for all this work, but it's putting you into some sort of a toxic cycle where it's just over and over again doing the same thing. And still not going home or not going back to the other people in your life that matter. Okay, so it's kind of like, yes, you're very blessed. You've been given a lot of blessings, but you are not nurturing all of them, and you are, even the ones you are nurturing, you're not nurturing enough to bring them into fruition. There we go. Okay, now we have the Three of Cups. Is everybody upside down? Yep, okay, good. That way, got it. Okay, Three of Cups, sorry. The Strength card and the Queen of Pentacles, and this is what I just spoke about. The Three of Cups is your friendships, okay? The Queen of Pentacles is whoever your significant other is, wherever your home base is. And both of them are feeling weak right now because they're both suffering because you are not nurturing them. Okay? Which will only happen for so long, and then they won't be there anymore. That's how that works, okay? All right, I have Judgment, the King of Cups, and the Death card. There are a lot of transformations in your life that are going to take place if you cannot manage to find a sense of balance here, okay? And if you cannot manage to figure out how to find a sense of vulnerability and allow your emotions to flow to some extent. Yeah. You are asking far more out of people than you are willing to give right now, and that is causing an imbalance that is going to backlash, I'm afraid, on you unless you can rein it in. So all it is you have to find a sense of balance here, okay? And then your blessings can continue to flow towards you and you can try to get them to go into fruition. If not, I feel like they will slowly start to fall off away from you. And that's not a good place to be at. So this is like a kind of a warning, I guess. Okay? Balance. The key here is balance. Okay? That's what I got for you, Leo. There. Okay. Alrighty. Hey there. How you doing, Virgo? Now, my name is Sherilyn, and I am here to do your weekly tarot reading. We're going to start it off with an oracle card. and just see if we get a theme for what's going on this week. So this one's going to be for my Virgos. Let's see what you got. Okay, we'll go there. What you get? To be fair. Essential meanings: balance, justice, a need to consider options, mutual benefit, and the law of cause and effect. So, balance and cause and effect, huh? Alrighty. Let's see how that plays in. Okay. Let's see. For my Virgos. Virgo. Alright. We got Virgo. Virgo. Okay. We got cards everywhere. Now let's see what you got, Virgo. You are opening with the 9 of Pentacles. Okay. Followed by the 7 of Wands. In the challenge position, I have the Hierophant. So, this is your backstory or your recent past. 9 of Pentacles, 7 of Wands, huh? So here in the recent past, it looks like you definitely stepped into your independence, okay? Somehow stepping into your independence has caused you to be incredibly defensive, or maybe you're very defensive of this independence because of how hard you've had to work to get to it. It possibly was quite difficult for you to manage to step into this sense of independence. So now you are defending it full-heartedly, I guess. Okay. The challenge in the recent past, or in your backstory, is the Hierophant. So it would seem that you stepping into this independence meant you stepped out of a higher level of commitment, or stepped away from something that you had been definitely very committed to. So you obviously had to leave something behind or separate yourself from a situation to step into your independence, okay? Because even here with the 7 of Wands, it looks like you're defending yourself against this Hierophant. So this would be some sort of a higher level of commitment, or something that was established, right? You had to break free from something that was established in order for you to find your independence. Okay. So what do we have? In the current. So now we're in the current. What do we have for current? Okay, I have the Magician, followed by the Queen of Wands. And in the challenge position is the Ace of Swords. Okay, so Magician, the Queen of Wands. So Queen of Wands is going to be the card at the center of your read. Male or female, really doesn't make any difference. It's an energy more than anything. It is a feminine energy that you are standing in right now. It's also an energy that is very much so geared towards getting what you want. It's a very confident, very fiery, very passionate energy that you're in, okay? If you see something you want, you just go get it. That's just the way you feel about it right now. There's not a lot of wondering if you could, or worrying that you can't make it. That's just not coming into play right now. When you see something you want, you just kind of go get it. You have to be very mindful of your karma when you're in the Queen of Wands. You can rack up bad karma real quickly. You know what I'm saying? By going after things that possibly aren't available, or going after things that, that you shouldn't go after, okay? That's the key there. You have to be very mindful of the karma that you rack up while you're in this Queen of Wands, but it is a very powerful place to be. Magician, I think you manifested the ability to be in this spot, and I think that you are utilizing it you're utilizing it to the extent that it's possible right now, trying to get the most out of it as you possibly can, right? Go after all the things that you really want. Ace of Swords is actually in the challenge position. So this Ace of Swords is the sword of truth. I feel like although you are standing in a very independent sense of being, okay, you're very independent, and you're in the Queen of Wands getting what you want, I do think that you are struggling with your authenticity, for what that's worth. I just feel like you are very quick to put on a mask to try to maintain these two, the Queen of Wands or the 9 of Pentacles, and it is causing you to not step into who you truly are, is what I feel like. But anyways, let's keep going. What do we have in the near future? So the 9 of Wands, followed by the 3 of Pentacles, and then I have the 10 of Swords. Okay, I do feel as though this is a phase. what I mean by that is, I don't feel like stepping into your independence was necessarily a phase, but it was a phase as far as you breaking free of something to be independent, okay? As you're in the current, I feel like you being in the Queen of Wands is somewhat of a phase, okay? It is a point, it is space and time in life, okay, where you are in this particular dynamic right here. Moving forward, it looks like you evolve out of that phase. I got to be honest with you, Virgo, it looks like it becomes time for you to pay for whatever bad karma you rack up through these two phases, okay? Because Nine of Wands would say that you are feeling quite wounded by a collaboration that you are a part of. And the challenge here is that you've been, with the Ten of Swords, you have been betrayed. Ace of Swords to the Ten of Swords, Hierophant to the Ace of Swords to the Ten of Swords. It almost feels like you put yourself in a position where you were betrayed. Three of Pentacles is collaborations. It often has to do with work or money. You know, somebody that you are in some sort of work partnership with. But I feel like the inauthenticity is what brings about this betrayal. Almost like you were being deceptive, and so you end up betrayed. It's one of those situations, cause and effect, right? You get back what you put into a situation. So if you go in without being authentic, then you get the same back at you. All right, let's see what else we've got here. I have the Death card, the Three of Wands, and the Six of Cups. You need to keep in mind that tarot is meant to tell you where things are headed on the current trajectory. If you don't like the outcome that you see here, you can try to alter things to change it. Thanks, Momo. Momo came to visit. The Death card would say that the things that happen here in the near future with the Nine of Wands, the Three of Pentacles, and the challenge being the Ten of Swords, that is happening to cause some sort of a transformation to take place. It's like there are some sort of lessons that need to be learned here, right? So that you can step into your future. With the Six of Cups, there is definitely a sense of nostalgia attached to whatever's going on here. Let me see. I've got the King of Wands, the King of Cups, and then the Ten of Pentacles. So this is all about you learning to balance out the different parts of your personality. It's all about you coming to terms with, oh Lord, coming to terms with your emotions and with your, with your passions, getting them in sync somehow so that you can attain this Ten of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles, Temperance, and the Nine of Cups. Whatever it is that your ultimate wish is, there's definitely something here about you trying to possibly take shortcuts to get to this wish fulfillment, where what you're being told to do is to be patient and to put the work in. You cannot get more out of something than you're willing to put into it. I get the feeling that you are trying to shortcut that process here with the Six of Pentacles over there. Where are we at? Okay, three more. Justice, the Five of Pentacles, and the Moon. You need to do something that you're very good at anyways. You need to get very grounded and very realistic and look at the situation around you for what it is. Not what you hope it's going to be, not what you want it to be. But you need to see it for right now for what it is. And then figure out what's the best way to utilize that situation. That's what I see here. With the Five of Pentacles, there is a sense of not feeling like you fit into a situation. And for some reason that is justice. So it feels like possibly this is some sort of karma playing out. I don't know if you made somebody else feel like they didn't fit in once upon a time or what, but that's what this is trying to show you. At any rate, it's a lot of learning here. There's a lot of lessons here, but I think that it will all pan out in the end. That's what I have for you this week. Just remember, you can change anything if you don't like the... Hey there, Libra. How are you tonight? My name is Sherilyn, and I'm here to do your weekly tarot reading. We're going to open it up with a oracle card just to see if we can get a theme for the reading. Let's see. You got Message in a Bottle. Essential meanings: communication, a sign, a cledon, the ancient name for a spontaneous oracle delivered innocently by the speaker, pointing the way to your highest good. So this is all about signs and synchronicities, I believe, right? Spirit trying to send you a sign to tell you which direction to go in or answer your question. There we go. Let's see how it plays in, okay? I got Momo right here. Okay. Let's see. For my Libras, I'm losing my voice. There we go. Libras. Okay, we got Libra. Libra, Libra. Okay. You're opening with the Nine of Swords. Okay, followed by the Page of Pentacles. In the challenge position, I have the Two of Swords. So this is your backstory or your recent past. So you've been, in the recent past here, it looks like you were incredibly stressed out. You were stressed out by the fact that you knew you needed to go in a new direction. It feels like you had come to the conclusion that it was time for you to move on or start something different. It was time for you to build a new foundation for yourself. I don't know if you were puzzled by which direction to go to do this, or if you just were struggling to figure out how to do it. But at any rate, it looks, this is your backstory or your recent past anyway, so this has already taken place. But there was definitely a great deal of stress and anxiety surrounding the fact that you felt you needed to move in a new direction. Okay? I actually don't think that you've yet to move in the new direction. It doesn't feel like. With the Two of Swords in the challenge position, I don't believe that you've yet to make a decision. So that's where we have that. Okay, let's see. That's your backstory. Where are we at currently? Let's see. Currently, we've got you with the Four of Pentacles. Okay. Three of Pentacles is the center of your reading. And then I have the Chariot in the challenge. Okay, so you know you need to make this move. There's something here telling you need to go start, build a new foundation someplace. You're struggling, you're stressed out, and you're struggling making a decision. That's the past. Currently, it looks like the problem is you won't let go of something in the past. So there's something here that needs to be let go of so you can move forward. And it looks like you are unwilling to do that, is what it feels like. So that means the only thing standing in your way of you going in the direction you are supposed to is basically you, right? Because I get the feeling you know what this is that you're not letting go of, and you know it's not good for you, and you know it's holding you back, and yet you're still doing it. So the card in the center of your read is the Three of Pentacles, so there's some sort of a collaboration here that you're refusing to give up. You're refusing to let go of something here. I don't know if it's one particular person that you don't want to let go of, or if it's like one grouping of people you don't want to let go of. But whatever it is, it looks as though you have, you've just made your mind up to not let go of them no matter what. So it's almost like you're willing to go down with the sinking ship. You're just not willing to get on the life raft, even though it's right there. Is how this feels. Okay, so the Chariot is the challenge here. So things are coming at you fast. You haven't made a solid decision yet, or you're not really moving in a direction, and it doesn't matter. Things are still moving, and they're moving quickly. I guess that's kind of like telling you are quickly running out of time is what this is saying. Oh, sorry. There's Momo going back outside, okay? And so what do we have in the near future? Okay, Justice, which is your card, so you're standing in your power here in the near future. And then I have the King of Swords. And the challenge here is the Knight of Swords. Okay, so with Justice and the King of Swords, this means you're presenting as the King of Swords. You're presenting as somebody who's trying to now in the near future, you're trying to make a very logical, analytical decision. You're trying to keep emotions at bay. But that card comes after Justice, so I get the feeling that Justice comes through first. I almost feel like you start to look at this logically and analytically just a little bit too late. You know what I'm saying? Like right after Justice comes into play. Possibly Justice comes into play and that is what shakes you up, and so you try to switch it around. I don't know. It feels like it's a day late and a dollar short to me for some reason. At least for the initial whatever's happening here. A Knight of Swords on the other side of it is the challenge, is all about you trying to figure out, you know, trying to find a sense of clarity in the situation. You're trying to find out what is the, you know, why did this happen? What's going on here? And it's because you didn't make the jump when you were supposed to. You're not watching the signs and synchronicities that are being sent to you. Because it feels like Spirit's constantly trying to send you signs to tell you, move now. You know, you need to get out of this now. You need to build a new foundation. You need to separate yourself from whatever's happening here. And it looks like you are ignoring the signs and synchronicities until the near future. And it feels like it happens one day too late. Anyways, what do we got here? Yep, because we got the Tower, the Page of Swords, and the Queen of Cups. The issue here is you have boundaries, but you don't uphold them, okay? You excuse people's bad behavior in the name of love. You're allowing people to run all over you in some respects, and by doing that, you are intensifying your position, but your position is in a bad space. Not saying you're a bad person, but you're putting yourself into like bad real estate or something, like you're in a bad spot, but you're putting yourself there. Okay, what else do we got? Where am I on time? 9 of Cups, the Hermit, and the 8 of Swords. There's some sort of a wish fulfillment here that you are holding on to. It's because you haven't attained it yet. It's like it's a wish that you have been working towards, and until you can attain it, you're saying you can't close the door on this, whatever this is, this whole debacle, this whole situation you got going here. Like you can't close the door until you succeed and actually manage to obtain this wish fulfillment, whatever it is. The next card over is the Hermit card. You could be dealing with a Virgo. It could be a Virgo that's trying to bring you signs. It could be. If you're attached to a Virgo, possibly a Virgo is the one trying to reason with you, maybe. 8 of Swords, you're just up in your head. But you're up in your head and it's causing you to not make any decision, which is still keeping you in the bad situation, is how I see this, okay? Now, whether this bad situation is a job or a relationship, or if it's just a friend group, I don't know. That I could not tell you. This Justice card could absolutely be the law, though, because of the way this plays out. So if it's something, if you're in a bad friend group or something that is, you know, is up to no good, this would be something where you would get caught up, right? Is kind of how it feels. Let me see. 3 more. I got the 8 of Cups, the Page of Wands, and the 7 of Wands. I do believe in the end you will end up walking away from this situation. I just get the feeling that you might try to walk away from it after a great deal of heartbreak and drama that you could avoid if you could walk away sooner rather than later, is how I see this, okay? But then again, maybe it's just a lesson in life that you were set to learn. I don't know. That's just the way the cards play out for me. That's how it looks. If this is a relationship, then maybe justice is something different. Justice could be a divorce. Could be. Justice to the King of Swords could definitely be a divorce. But justice is coming through to me as some sort of legal action, okay? I do believe that this comes in layers, meaning this is the initial legal action. I think there could be more legal actions that follow if you don't figure out at some point to walk away from this, is how I see it, okay? But for sure there are signs and synchronicities that are being sent to you right now. You just need to pay attention, okay? Is how I see it. Okay, that's what I have for Libra. Okay, Scorpio, how are you doing this evening? Switch the decks. Let's see. My name is Sherilyn, and I am here to do your weekly tarot reading. We are going to pull an oracle card first, just to see if we can get a theme for the reading. What's the gist of the whole deal here? Let's see what we got going on, okay? For my Scorpios. Okay, there we go. Ready? Here. Okay, you've got peace from attachment and radical acceptance. All right, Scorpio. Let's see how that plays in for you. So, freedom from attachment and radical acceptance. Okay, for my Scorpios, Scorpio. Okay. So, we're opening with the 8 of Wands. Sorry. Followed by the Emperor. Okay. And in the challenge position, I have the Three of Cups. So, this is your backstory or your recent past. I do believe you're presenting here as the Emperor. So you are definitely in boss energy, definitely in charge of your situation. The fact that it's the Emperor means that you are very set in your ways. You're very unwilling to compromise on things that you believe you're right on. And pretty much you think you're right about more or less everything. You know what I'm saying? You think that you have the right idea. Possibly you do. But you are a little bit rigid in your thinking and a little bit controlling in your actions, okay, as the Emperor. There's also something here with the Eight of Wands about there being a great deal of difficulties when it comes to communication. I don't know if this is meaning communication overall or just in one situation, meaning maybe you communicate fine with most people, but there's somebody here and it feels like it's somebody that you desperately need to communicate with to accomplish something, and you're having a very hard time with that person for sure, okay? Okay, Three of Cups is the challenge. So it feels to me like there are friends or situations that are getting in the way of a dynamic that you're a part of moving forward. So I think that you are associated with somebody and the two of you are somehow not being able to move forward because of other people getting involved in your situation, which is somehow dragging it backwards. I don't know. It feels like friends or something that are just, I don't know. There's too many energies here, and they're causing a lot of strife here. That's what I see. Okay, this is your backstory, though, so that part's already happened. Let's see where we are now. Okay, so in the current, I wind up with the, I guess you would be first, right? Okay, so we're going to put the Ten of Wands. Then I've got the Six of Pentacles in the center. And the Queen of Cups is the challenge. Okay. So the card in the center of your entire read is going to be the Six of Pentacles. This card speaks of reciprocity or a lack thereof, right? In this situation, it feels as though there is something going on here where you are heavily burdened. And it's over the fact that you feel like you owe somebody, or somebody feels like you owe them. So in the past, I suppose somebody showed you a sense of charity, or somebody was overly giving towards you. Right now, it feels like they're trying to call in what would be like a marker, right? I mean, they're saying, no, I did this for you, now you owe me. That's how this feels. It's got you heavily burdened. And the challenge is the Queen of Cups, which is how you're presenting in the current situation. So, in the current situation, you are nurturing, you're maternal, you're very intuitive, and you're having a very hard time holding up your boundaries. You're also empathetic to a point that's causing you a great deal of grief because you are excusing people's bad behavior. With empathy, yeah. Okay, let's keep going. So that's where you're at currently. So somebody is saying you owe them, and you're having a hard time telling them no or standing up for yourself, it sounds like. Maybe because you do owe them, I don't know. Okay, going forward. In the near future, I have the Queen of Swords. Okay. The Empress. And then I have the King of Wands in the challenge. Okay, we do have the Emperor and the Empress here, and they're here in the same line with the Six of Pentacles between them. So, it's quite possible that what we are dealing with here as far as the person that you are dealing with that this whole thing is talking about, this is absolutely, in my opinion, your divine counterpart, right? Emperor to the Empress. However, there has been a strong sense of a lack of reciprocity between the two of you. That is what is standing between the two of you, is this reciprocity, okay? Or lack thereof, right? Okay, so because of whatever's happening in the current where this person is saying that you owe them, all right, and your inability to kind of tell them no or stand up for yourself, it looks like in the near future now you become very defensive, you're tired of this BS is what happens going forward. This person pushes too hard for too long, and all of a sudden you are quite irritated and annoyed with the whole situation. Despite that, you cannot stop trying to nurture this, and it is because this is your divine counterpart. Okay, the challenge in the near future, this is the King of Wands. So I feel like you in the near future are presenting like the Queen of Swords, and this person, your counterpart, is now presenting like the King of Wands. So you are tired of the BS. You are seeing everything black and white. You are definitely very defensive. And this person is suddenly feeling as though they are very adventuresome, or they are very much so, I don't know, they are not being as steady and reliable as you might want them to be here in the near future, it looks like, for some reason. It's because you haven't held up your boundaries in the past. See, it comes back up to the Queen of Cups. So because you haven't held up your boundaries in the current situation, in the future, they feel like they can continue to push you and you will let it happen. All right. Now I've got Justice, the Seven of Wands, and the Two of Cups. So the scales are going to be balanced out here, period. It's going to come to that. I mean, there will be balance within this dynamic eventually. Seven of Wands is, a huge amount of defensiveness. And then the Two of Cups. So I feel like both of you actually defend this relationship with your life in some ways. You both are absolutely 100% in and trying to defend whatever you have here. So then the only people that are truly hurting you two are each other. It's kind of a strange... I've got the Six of Cups, the Knight of Wands, and the Queen of Pentacles. This is home to both of you. There's a sense of nostalgia here, but there's a sense of loyalty attached to this nostalgia that nobody else is ever going to fulfill for the two of you. You two are definitely home to each other. You understand each other in a way that nobody else will. With the Knight of Wands in the center, but you both are hotheads, it feels like. You're both sure you're right. There's a lot of ego here, and you guys are hotheads, really. You get mad and go do something impulsive and hurt each other. And there's always a tit for tat. So you hurt them, they hurt you. But you still come back together, it looks like. Now I have the King of Pentacles to go with the Queen of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, and the Ace of Cups. No matter what happens, you two seem to be drawn back together. It borders on toxic for sure, because this just feels a little bit unhealthy, but it also feels like something that's far too strong to fight. So I guess this is just the way you all are going forward with life is like this. I don't know what to say. It doesn't feel like anything I say is going to have any input towards this and how it's going to play out. With the Peace card up there, this is all about, what did it say? Acceptance, right? I think the acceptance is to the fact that you two will always come back together. It feels like a magnetic pull. And the fact that the only people that hurt you guys are you guys. You're just hurting each other and yourselves. Somebody's got to put the ego aside and actually try to see if we can't make this thing a happy situation versus a constantly toxic one, maybe. I don't know. That's what I see for you right now. That was all over the place, but that's what I got. Okay. Okay. Hey there, Sagittarius. How are you doing this evening? My name is Sherilyn, and I'm here to do your weekly tarot reading. We're going to open it up with an oracle card to see if we can get some sort of a theme for what's going on here for you this week, okay? Okay, so for my Sagittariuses, let's go down here. What you get? Fork in the road. Okay, essential meanings. Time to make a decision, considering the consequences as you prepare to act. Owning up to your obligation to make a necessary choice. So you've been stalling on a decision, maybe? Maybe. Let's see. Okay. Let's see how tarot plays in for my Sagittariuses, okay? All right. So we got Sagittarius, Sagittarius, Sagittarius. Okay. What you got? We're going to open with... Okay, you're opening with the Death card. So, there's that. I'm just kidding. Sorry. Oh, then the Devil. Alrighty. Okay, and then the Queen of Swords. So, this is talking about your backstory or your recent past, okay? So, not all that bad. This has already happened, okay? The Death card to the Devil. So, there was definitely a toxic situation, I feel like, in your recent past that came to a close. I mean, it had to end, basically, for some reason. right? Well, because it was toxic. At any rate, this something, whatever this was, it feels like it is no longer a thing. But it was something that had you chained to the devil for a significant amount of time. At any rate, the challenge in the recent past or with your backstory is the Queen of Swords. So it looks as though whatever happened here that came to a close, it definitely rendered you in a very defensive, very cold-hearted in some ways, sort of a stance, right? You were not open to emotion at all when you came out of this situation, which kind of seems like it would be understandable. But at any rate, this is your backstory or recent past, like I said, so let's go forward and see where are you in the current. Where are you at? So we have, okay, Three of Swords. The Tower. Alrighty, Sagittarius. And then the challenge is the Wheel of Fortune. So currently you are still nurturing some sort of a heartbreak, or you're trying to heal from some sort of heartbreak here. The card in the center is the Tower. So basically your whole life feels like it's been flipped on its ear and you can't quite get your feet underneath you yet. You're trying, but it's just difficult. Everything feels very topsy-turvy, right? It's just no matter what you do, it feels like things, you can't get a solid foundation beneath you right this minute. It feels like I have every faith in the world that you will, but right this minute it feels like maybe you need to heal this heartbreak first. Maybe. With the Wheel of Fortune as the challenge, it feels like things are very much so out of your control. No matter what you do, it feels like you don't have any control in the situations that are around you right now. That might be true to some extent, but it is because everything is happening to try to get you to where you need to be in alignment with your destiny, right? Okay, so let's see, where are we going from here? I think we got every tough card pretty much that you can get out of the way already, so let's go forward. All right, so we're going into the near future. I got Three of Pentacles, the Empress, okay, and then the Seven of Pentacles. In the near future, it looks like you're coming into some sort of a significant collaboration. So this could mean you are getting a new job or a new promotion, going to a different department. It usually has something to do with money. I guess it could be a relationship if it's somehow loosely attached to abundance or finance. At any rate, it's a collaboration that seems to be quite important in your life that you're coming into here. With the Empress in the center, this is you. That's how you're presenting. So you are trying to nurture whatever this is into fruition. Okay. The challenge here is the Seven of Pentacles. So although it does feel like you're very nurturing towards whatever this collaboration is, okay, you're not quite sure how much you are wanting to invest in it. Maybe that's where the fork in the road comes in, huh? You have to either, the example that just came into my head won't work. I can't say that. You have to either make your mind up to either stay or go, or you have to make your mind up to either invest wholeheartedly or let it go here in the near future with some sort of collaboration. Okay. What's on the bottom? Queen of Pentacles, Page of Swords, Ten of Cups. Okay, so maybe this is a relationship here. Maybe it's a relationship with somebody who has a significant amount of money. Maybe. You're struggling trying to figure out whether or not you want to invest, but investing looks like it would cause it to be your home or cause it to be your home base. You're looking for some sort of clarity in the situation, but you're doing it by indirect means. You're trying to figure out whether or not you can find emotional fulfillment within this dynamic. Knight of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, Ten of Swords. You're real slow to make the jump on this, and it's because you can't get out of your head. Something here is not feeling right to you, so... With the Ten of Swords, I got to be honest with you, it kind of looks like in the end there is a betrayal, but I think it's perceived as a betrayal by you to this person. And I think that's because it feels like maybe you mislead them. Maybe. So I would be very mindful of that because you don't want that karma. Just as long as you're honest, it won't be an issue, but you know what I'm saying, if you are misleading, that could be an issue. Okay, what else we got? Temperance, the Five of Pentacles, and the Three of Wands. I feel like you are trying to exit that situation even though you feel like you might be alone, it's like you want to go into your future alone. It's like you don't want to be carrying anybody else into your future for some reason. There's something here about you having to figure out how to stand on your own. That's what this feels like. It's like it's not for anybody else's sake, but for your own. But it's like you want to prove to yourself that you can stand on your own 2 feet, with nobody helping you. Yeah. And I think you're very willing to go into that feeling maybe like you don't have a ton of support around you, or you don't have a significant other, because you really want to feel like you've done it. You've made it on your own. At that point, I feel like you'll be open to something, a relationship or something. But right now, to be in this relationship, although I do feel there's abundance here, would cause you to feel like you didn't make it on your own. And that's very important to you. You need to prove that to yourself, is how this feels. So, okay, 3 more we'll get out of it. I got the 3 of Cups, the 9 of Swords, and the 8 of Wands. So this person is currently a friend, huh? That's how this feels. Maybe a friend with benefits, but a friend. And you're stressed out because they want more. With the 8 of Wands, if you could just be open and communicate, I feel like you could stay on the right side of this and not end up with bad karma. But it is if you are not effectively communicating or being honest that you will rack up the bad karma here. Either way, I think in the end you will walk away. And it's because of this need that you have to prove to yourself you can do it all by yourself. And there's nothing to be ashamed of that, as long as you're honest about it. You know? That is what I see, Sagittarius. It looks like you've been through a tremendous amount of BS up here. Okay, this was not an easy route that you had to endure up here. But now it's like you're on the backside of it. You know, you're coming out of it. It's all about don't make somebody else's life hell because you went through hell. Right? Kind of? I don't know. I hope that makes sense. And I hope this somehow helps. And that's what I got for this week. Okay. Take care. Alrighty. Hey there, Capricorn. How are you feeling tonight? My name is Sherilyn, and I'm here to do your weekly tarot reading. We are going to open it up with an oracle card and see if we can get some sort of a theme for your reading this week. Okay, so let's see. What'd you get? Happy, happy. Well, that sounds like a great card. Happy. The essential meanings: joy and contentment, a sense of fulfillment, a feeling that all is well. Well, that sounds spectacular. Let's see what tarot says, okay? All right. For my Capricorns. Let us see, let us see. Okay. Capricorn, Capricorn, Capricorn. Alrighty. Okay, we're going to open it with the 10 of Pentacles. Well, that's pretty positive there. That's a good thing. Followed by the 10 of Cups. Wow. And the challenge is the King of Pentacles. Okay, so this is your backstory or your recent past. So it looks as though you were in a situation in the recent past where you felt you had come across a dynamic that you felt could carry you to both of these things, the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. So that's not only a sense of emotional fulfillment, but it's also like a tangible wealth and success sort of a fulfillment as well. The challenge in the recent past or backstory here is the King of Pentacles, which is you. This is how you're presenting here. So you're not only standing in your masculine, but you are in boss energy, but you can be very rigid in your thinking, very much so somebody who's unwilling to compromise, and definitely somebody who is very, very cautious. So although it looks like you found the perfect opportunity, you were definitely moving incredibly slowly towards going forward with it. Or something, being very held back towards whatever it was. It feels like a relationship, but anyways. Okay, let's go on. So this is your backstory. We can't change it. It's already happened. So where are you at currently? Oops, let's see, currently where are you at? Okay, we've got the Chariot. Okay. The 3 of Pentacles. Okay. And the challenge is the Knight of Wands. Okay, so with the Chariot in the first position, it's talking about things coming at you very quickly. you know, changes are happening quickly, or maybe this relationship has started to pick up the pace, so it's moving much more quickly, I guess. Okay. Because the next one over is the Three of Pentacles. So this is like a great deal of fire or speed being put underneath whatever this collaboration is that you felt would bring you all these things. And mind you, the card at the top is still happy, happy. So it feels as though you really have found the path to your happiness, to true happiness. The challenge is the Knight of Wands. So somebody in this dynamic is very hot-headed and can act impulsively. Is that you? Can you impulsively get triggered and pull the plug on this? Is that what we're saying here? Because there's something about impulsivity being the only real struggle or challenge in the current situation. I'm not sure if they're talking about you or them, but there's somebody here that can be very impulsive. And I get the feeling that when they get impulsive, the impulsivity is to pull their energy back and, like, I don't know, decide they don't want to be here anymore or something. Okay, what do we got in the near future? I'm not sure I understand that card, but we'll keep going. Near future, what do I got? In the end, we still got happy, happy at the top there. So, okay, now we've got the Nine of Swords, okay? And the Emperor. And the Page of Pentacles is the challenge. So as this thing goes forward, so this is what you were after anyways. This is what everybody's after, is the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles, okay? So you figure out something that you have found that will carry you there, okay? I get the feeling that as you get closer to actually achieving Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, you panic. That's what this looks like to me, because you're stressed out. There's all kinds of anxiety here. Either this is not happening in the way you want it to, meaning you had some sort of preconceived notion about exactly how you wanted this to go, and something about it is not falling exactly into line. However, you still get the same outcome, but maybe something about that is what has got you in left field. But for some reason, it is you that's acting impulsively and pulling your energy back here. And it's out of fear. I mean, if you're not in a space where you have exactly what you wanted, then you can't lose exactly what you wanted, right? I think that is the theory you are working with here. With the Emperor, you are very, very determined things have to be a certain way. Why? As long as you get what you want in the end, why does it have to look a certain way or be a certain way? But you are definitely pushing for things to be a certain way, and you're unwilling to compromise on these things. With the Page of Pentacles, the challenge here is that you need to step outside of your comfort zone. You need to be open to something different. You need to expand your horizons, learn something new. I don't know, build a new foundation for yourself in something different than what you are currently determined to stay within. Okay, we've got the Hangman, the Nine of Wands, and the Page of Wands. So this whole determination thing and making things fit into a certain box the way that you want them to, this is all the result of some sort of wounding that you have from your past. The Hangman would say that you need to gain a different perspective, otherwise you're going to stay stuck. And the Page of Wands is talking about you, I don't know, forgetting to have fun, possibly. You know, life is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to just be drama and challenges all the time. There's something here about you being afraid to be vulnerable and to let your guard down. Okay, what else you got? Page of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, Two of Cups. I mean, this is a divine union. Even you pulling your energy back and acting crazy, I don't know if that's even going to manage to break it up. It looks like this is pretty much something that's meant to be. You're coming through with offers that are smaller. You're trying to take it very, very, very slow, almost too slow. It almost seems stagnant because of the pace that you want to go forward at. The Wheel of Fortune looks like it's going to intervene in one way or another. All right, Queen of Swords, Ace of Cups, and the Six of Swords. The Queen of Swords is here because you're incredibly defensive and very not trusting, or very tired of the BS, but I don't feel like the BS you're tired of is because of this person. You're carrying whatever your problems from a prior situation with you. which is incredibly unfair and you know it. But anyways, Ace of Cups, still there's a solid opportunity here. And with the Six of Swords, this is all about you needing to get on board and let this thing sail into calmer waters so you can find a sense of peace. Because as it stands right now, you're not sure, you're fighting something, but you're not sure what you're fighting. You're fighting yourself half the time and fighting this relationship the other half. It's going to be okay. Relax. Go with it. Remember, happy, happy. Happy, happy. That's what it said. That was your first card. All right, Capricorn. I hope this helps somehow. I think you'll figure it out, okay? All right, there you go.